Or shrimp.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Crystal Holloman. This is Tim Staudt. How are you today?
Good.
This is yours. Yeah.
All right.
It's a short one. Very short. One of the shortest ones I've ever had. So we're looking at the Tigers right now, top of the ninth, 7-4.
Twins are the worst first place team in a division race I can ever remember.
Ever?
That I can remember
You can remember.
for a first place team. I argue this with Brock and Fred all the time. I'm just amazed what makes it for a successful team in Major League Baseball when I see the caliber of play that, to me, is just preposterous. I mean, I don't know how the Twins have won 63 games.
Is it just because of the, like you said, the caliber
Well, part
of
of
their
the
opponents?
thing is the division, the Central Division that's the worst division I can remember seeing.
That's what a lot of people are saying, is the division is so
terrible.
bad.
So if you play two division teams, somebody's got to win. I still think you could end up with a game in the Central Division where both of them lose in the same game. They're so bad.
Is it just who doesn't want to lose less?
I don't know. I mean, and last night that goofy manager Hinch pulled that Alex Faedo when the Twins couldn't hit him with. I mean, they couldn't hit him. They had one hit and it was off. I take him out. And I thought when I took him, I said, this is the only way the Twins can get back in the game is if he takes his pitcher out, which he did. 81 pitches, takes him out. And, of course, and the Twins hit one ball for the night. It was a grand slam home run. They went 5-3. And if I was a Tiger players, I'd feel cheated by the way they do what they do.
That was my next question. Is, as a player, A, how do you feel being in Detroit? And
Well, most
B,
of those guys
you're
are
not gonna
young
want-
guys that don't have any standing, so they can't really be argumentative, except maybe for Cabrera, and this is last year. What does he care? They're not going to the playoffs. He's just playing it out, okay, and wants to end respectably as a player. So, yeah, I mean, if Mike Ilitch was alive, in my opinion, and the owner of the Tigers, you wouldn't see this roster. You wouldn't see the way they played, and I don't think you'd see Hinch as the manager, to be honest, because I don't think he matches their personnel. To me, he's the manager for a veteran team that has veteran players, because he experiments with all these young guys and he holds them by the hand. I mean, they take that guy out last night. Cheated the fans, cheated his players. But he gave me something to talk about with you.
He did. Do you think we're kind of doing a disservice to Miggy in his final season?
How?
By the Tigers being so subpar?
No, because, I mean, they're better this year than they were a year ago.
The same.
No, in fact, I think he owes them a thank you. They could have. There was a tremendous amount of thought that after last year they should have paid him off and cut him. And Lynn Henning of the Detroit News thinks it's ridiculous they brought him back when they could have used that roster spot for somebody else to develop or whatever. I mean, either way, I don't think they were going to make the playoffs. And look, they brought him back to sell tickets, which they need somebody to sell tickets because they don't win. Well, he's going to probably a little bit more in September because if you're going to see him. I'm wondering if the home run he hit last night, which is a whopping number 2 this year, will be the last home run he'll hit. Boy, he hit it too.
Tigers did score again, so it is now 8-4.
I mean, the Twins it's hopeless. I mean, it's just hopeless.
Twins are 63-58, while the Tigers are.
I just can't believe they've won 63 games. I mean, the Lugnuts could play these guys.
I know. We're going to the Lugnuts game tonight, so we will
don't get
find
me
out.
wrong. I think the Tigers have about 4 non-pitchers who are promising players. Torkelson, Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, and Akil Baddoo. I think those guys have potential to be difference makers.
And those are pretty much the only names we're seeing here in the summary. So.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I think they have hope for the future.
I was going to say,
you
so what
need
has
more
to happen?
than that. Pardon?
What has to happen other than
They got to get better players. I mean, they got to get better players, more of them. They got to get, and you got to guess right. And I mean, they obviously need more pitchers. They got 9 of them injured with that pitch count goofiness. So they got the Tampa Bay Rays with that stuff. They were running away with the American League East. They've got 5 starting pitchers injured. So they'll just end up giving it away probably to the Baltimore Orioles, who probably will back into the thing because that division's no good. Now you're getting me all worked up again.
Sorry.
It's bad enough with Brock in the morning.
You get a break for lunch. It's fine. You were also kind of talking about the live ratings. Is that true?
He brought it up and said that they didn't have too many viewers last
Are you
week.
surprised?
Well, it's hard to find CW, and it's summertime, and people are outside, and you know,
They want to be playing golf, not.
I don't think it's nearly as big a deal because everybody that follows golf knows these guys are going to merge together somehow, some way. So there's no real big controversy. The only controversy is that Phil Mickelson bet $1 billion and lose $100 million. That's a bigger controversy.
You don't do that?
Pardon?
You don't do that?
Not that much.
No?
Not that much. Not that much.
Some pretty good news out of Detroit. Yes, what came yesterday.
Well, they
with
hope
a
so.
trade. I think it's pretty cool. A lot of people are excited about this. They traded with Montreal for this gentleman, who maybe some of you may know.
He was good at Michigan State.
He was.
He helped them to the national title.
And it runs in the family.
Genes are good. Dan Petrie,
That's his dad.
good baseball pitcher at Detroit. But Jeff Petrie's hard for me to believe he's 35 years old now.
Yeah, he's my age.
How much wear and tear has he got on him? The deal that is good is not necessarily getting him. It's at the cost they got him because they didn't give up very much. And they don't have to pay him very much. They only have to pay 37% of his salary. I don't know how Yzerman worked that thing out.
That's what caught my eye.
To me, if you get a player who's beyond his prime, and you're taking a chance on him, okay. What do you have? But if you get him and you're paying him a ton, all right, and it doesn't work, then you got a problem. But if you're not making a big investment, you get what you pay for, so it's not really that big a loss. And he'll want to play in his hometown.
He will. And a lot of people were really excited about this. I know they spoke with his dad about being excited to see him play a little bit more. But the Detroit Red Wings traded away a younger player. So I don't know if the age thing was a factor where they wanted somebody who was more established and maybe had a little bit more hockey sense, a little bit more sense of hockey in the league.
Well, he's got a lot of miles on him. You know how many more years your legs are going to, because that's all he's ever done is play hockey. But he was good at State. If he plays for the Wings like he did at State, then they got something.
I'll find some footage of him playing at Michigan State, and I was actually in that little closet, that dusty little closet back there called the Sports Archives, because we have this really cool thing on our website. If you go over here to this hamburger menu and you click from the vault, there's all these throwback videos that we have found.
See, up there in the top left, Blaha and I did Michigan State football together. I made him what he is today. If he didn't have me alongside with him 50 years ago, he never would have made it.
So we have a really cool segment here. We've got all these different clips from the late 90s, early 2000s. We're going to be digging through some more in that closet back there. Found some really cool stuff that we can go through, just kind of take a trip back through time. But that was a really good one. A lot of us watched that today.
See, that's David Andrews 24 years ago.
Yep.
There's some things that never change.
You know, David.
Not a hair out of place then, not a hair out of place today.
David Andrews was over here on Monday doing this whole show.
Really?
Yeah.
What a break for you.
But you can also see all that From the Vault stuff if you have a smart TV. You can just find it on our WILX app. It's called From the Vault. But a lot of us were watching that Decades with the Dean right here, and even some of our younger producers who are barely in their 20s were amazed and mesmerized by some of the stuff on there. So it was pretty cool for a lot of us to look back.
It'll look good on my obituary.
Okay.
So hold it for that, all right? So then you won't have to go through much of the archives, just dig some of it.
There's a lot of stuff in that archive stuff.
I well, when you've done it for
They're
54
on these
years.
huge tapes. It's crazy.
I remember I wrote my first script on papyrus, and I etched in stone some of the scripts. That's how far back things go. We didn't have prompters and computers then.
You had typewriters.
Papyrus. We scribbled things together.
You are in that sports office by yourself today, but
Oh, Fred's coming back.
Freddie is coming back. What are you guys working on? I know there's another full-on frenzy.
Everything's done. We got 2 more schools tonight. We got Jackson Lumen Christie's a fabulous football program. That guy, that Herb Brogan's amazing. He's been there nearly 50 years, and all he ever does is win. I didn't think he had a very good team last year, and by the time the school year ended, the football season ended, he won a state title. And when he won the state title, I saw the first 3 quarters, and I didn't think they could move it a foot. And they won the game, which is a tribute that you can win a state title maybe when you're not glossy. Now, he's had glossy, don't get me wrong. He's had a lot of glossy. And then Perry's only got 16 kids, and they all survived the tornado, which made them happy.
Yes.
So they've got past that now last Friday. Now they're hoping they're going to be ready next week.
Yeah, we talked to some of the people in Perry earlier this week about how they're trying to get recovered from the tornado over the weekend in time for all the sports and back to school and everything, because it's going to be here before
And
we
the
know
rest
it.
of it we got is just going to depend on how much time we have. I mean, there's a Harbaugh clip. There's a assistant Michigan State football coach's clip. We're running out of new things to find with the season 2 weeks out, and the high school's next week. So,
Right,
so
well,
there you go.
that's what we have. Tim will be back on our
Oh,
local
those
news.
Twins, are they a piece of work?
Should I just turn this
They are.
thing off?
It's just that they're a piece of work. I'm telling you, the Tigers they'll be weeping openly leaving Minnesota that they don't get to play them another 20 times because they could get back in the pennant race against that team. I don't know who those guys have beat.
This does have a caught stealing.
I never see them play well. The Twins.
Twins?
I haven't seen them.
Recently or just overall?
Last time I saw them play well, Harmon Killebrew was in a lineup. And that goes back a few decades.
This has
They have a nice stadium, don't get me wrong.
it looks really nice.
Very nice.
Um,
All they need is a team.
This
Can hit the ball where those outfield people are.
this is interesting. It says Twins challenged a tag play and the call on the field was overturned. Vierling was caught stealing second base.
The only reason the Tigers didn't sweep is because Hinch manages them. They overcame him today because they had a big enough lead. The only reason, if he'd have been gone, if he'd have got kicked out of the game in the first inning, the Tigers would have swept. But as I sit here, I'm telling you that. But I think he's got them mesmerized because of the World Series in Houston. But that was with very good play. You could have managed that team
That's
to
the
the World
difference.
Series.
You had a completely different player.
Well, and they can't steal signs in Detroit like they could in Houston. And when you cut that back, that's going to hurt your wins. Now, if I was managing, I'd be stealing all those. I'd do everything I could do. It's just the way it goes, right?
Well, you only had to pitch nine? You only had 9 throws an inning anyway, right?
They were all strikes,
Yeah.
3 up, 3 down.
So, it's not that hard, guys. Come on.
All right.
Well, tune in for the latest on the Tigers Twins game because it is
If I
still.
have to show a Twin highlight, I'm going to be stuck because they don't have many. Trust me, they don't have many.
I won't be here. I'm going to be at the.
I'd rather
Lugnuts
show
game.
Hinch in the dugout doing nothing, and that was the big key why they won today, or they're going to win today. They'll win today. Then they go to Cleveland. There's another piece of work, that team, the Guardians. They're another pig. They're in there for 4 games. The question is who's going to give away those games, the Tigers or the Guardians? Because they're no good. They're second. They're 5 games, whatever it is, under 500. They're no good. And you pay major league prices to see it. Go watch the Lugnuts tonight. At least they'll be playing.
Lugnuts are going to be. It's Dog Days of Summer. They're playing in-state rivals, Great Lakes Loons. I think tonight's going to be a good game. A bunch of us are going. You should go.
I am going.
Yeah, we're going. Yeah. Bunch of us are going. So if you see us, say hi. If you see Tim, talk to him about how great the Twins are and how excited you are to see them and see these highlights coming up on News 10 at 6 p.m.
All right.